हाँ आना चाहिए अगर हर्षद is saying he cannot send the link.
Yeah, she's starting it now. I can resend them the link. That's fine. I'll resend you the link also. And she's gonna be starting it any minute now. Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. Bye Yeah, let's do that. Let's people come. Dad, or do you want to? Let's go. Yeah, put a chair right up front.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Here, take this.
Aisha.
No, I'll give you a chair.
If you want us.
If it's there, just when you get tired, that's it. Which one is more?
Yeah. When they start the service, we were just this was just in case anyone's walking up now and they just want to say hello.
आप लोग अभी जाओ के पास अभी हम लोग
Oh yeah, for sure.
Watch live webcast. Am I just because I was able to see something or બધું ચાલુ થઈ ગયું છે તો તમે ચાલુ કરી જો પછી મને ફોન કરજો આવી જાય
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so guys, you're so nice.
Anu and Shelley.
Yeah.
Malhotra, Anu.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
I was like trying to, it's like, Auntie, Auntie, I think, right? I was like, it's scratchy Auntie.
Really? Yeah. Probably the last time you saw him, he was my age. Right?
At our
Yeah,
wedding.
okay.
Ishan.
Oh, yeah, me here? Yeah. right
Ishan,
there.
actually.
Oh, the other
Ishan
one?
said Ishan.
Okay, Ishan, yeah.
नमस्ते मैम जी, कैसे हैं आप? ये माला फोटो पे लगानी है अभी बाद में लगाएंगे नेक्स्ट।
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that you have to play. Yeah, if you see the casket, that's how I just like that. Anything else? Yeah, right. Oh, how to?
Hi, Mira, how are you?
Shanti is our friend from Jackson. This is our friend Shobha, also from Bangalore. Yeah, Shobha is my sister.
Dad, this is a good friend of mine from Rakesh. Yeah, the 50th birthday video, yeah, he saw that. Dad, this is yeah. Bye, Mom. Thanks so much. Thanksgiving, Christmas, right? Yeah. Yeah, even when we lived in Easter Mass, we used to come like so many times, right? Yeah. 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 Oh yeah, yep. I know. No, great memories. So. Yep. How's your dad doing? Mom was in the hospital. Yeah. Went out from the I'm in Northeast PA, like Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. So yeah, a couple hours. Yeah. Queens, yeah, from Jackson. Yeah, yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah. All right, right. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Oh, Niagara, yes.
And then you look like that, but it's like
My father.
You're ready? Okay. You can sit right behind me. Yeah, he said he's ready whenever we are. Right there. That amazing grace. This. Yes, this is life. Yeah, they'll, Christy, recording with us again. Puja.
But do you need the microphone?
No, I'm just.
You don't, you'll just say it.
Maybe in the office. All right, yeah, no, thank you so much. Yeah, we'll talk together. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we can all have a seat, the services will begin.
Yeah.
Well, once he starts, people will just sit. Yeah, and then they'll take you on the way out.
Should I shut that music off?
Yeah, slow on.
I got it, son.
Shall I sit here?
Take your shoes off. You're okay. Yeah, that's my dad here.
Five seven number, whose number?
570, that's me.
Yeah, I said, like, significant whatever.
Oh, you did? Oh,
In
okay.
the phone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, if you want.
Maybe the kids can read it, no? That's okay.
It's to explain the significance in English.
Going to give like offering 6 pin, that pin information as well. As
All right, she's gonna read
You want me to just read it in English?
yeah.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Turn up the, on the left, yeah.
Can you hear me? No.
Keep
Keep going.
the volume knob on the left.
No.
Turn it up.
Turn on the phone.
Is it on? It's on.
The volume knob, yeah. Turn the knob up, yeah. Now try it. 0909 42.
Sorry. Okay, can you hear me?
A little louder.
I'm so sorry. Nidhi's
No,
gonna
that's
come
okay.
up with me to help me through this. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We're gonna have a short puja, and then we will, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We will be starting with a short prayer ceremony, and then we have some remembrances of Mom, and then we'll proceed from there. I just wanted to explain in English what you're about to see, and I'm reading from what was provided. The priest starts the ceremony following these steps. Initially, the worship of Kalash to invoke holy water is done. This water is sprinkled on and around the body for purification. The body puja is done by applying chandan, kumkum, and haldi to the body and offering fresh flowers, agarbatti, deepa, and food. Havan, or offerings to the god of fire, Agni, is done. This is called
so sorry, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, Prayashita Did I get that right? Okay, thank you. In this ceremony, verses are recited and the performer offers ghee and black sesame seeds to Agni. During the offering, he asks Lord Yama, Surya, Chandra, Shiva, and Vishnu to forgive the dead for his or her sins and mistakes done knowingly or unknowingly from birth to death. If the person dies on an unholy or inauspicious day, Diti Nakshatra, Dakshaninayana, or in Krishna Paksha, additional special verses are recited to forgive and bless the dead person. A special commitment is made at this time for a large donation in the form of food or money for Brahmins, people who are less fortunate, and or a charity. At the end of the Havan, some pieces of burning wood from Havan are removed and placed in a clay pot, which is carried to the crematorium for initiating the fire. So I'll pause there, and Panditji, do you need the microphone?
It's okay.
It's okay? Okay, thank you.
Okay, do namaskar. Vande Vignaharam Vibhum Ganapati Vande Shivam Sambhavim Vishnu Papaharam Sada Sukhakaram Surya Sada Lohitam Vande Sharvagrahan Chame Shukapradan Vande Tuvai Sharadam Pitrun Chadya Guru Tatha Cha Janani Vande Ahamatya Darat Yasveshwayam Shuktinam Bhavaneshya Lakshmi Papatmanam Katadayam Radesh Buddhi Shraddha Satam Kulajanam Prabhavashya Lajjatam Tvam Natasma Paripalaya Devi Visvam Kim Varnayam Tava Rupa Chintyame Tat Kim Chate Veryam Surakshay Kari Bhore Kim Chahavesu Charitani Tavatiyani Sarvesu Deva Suradeva Ganadikesu Heto Samasta Jagadantri Gunapi Doshe Nagnayashe Hariharadabhirapya Para Sarvasraya Khilamidam Jagadan Sabhuta Bhavyakruta Hi Parama Prakritista Madhya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take in a right hand and drop 3 times. Touch his hand. Touch his hand. Om Rim Keshavaya Namah Swaha. Om Rim Madhavaya Namah Swaha. Om Rim Narayanaaya Namah Swaha. Astam Prakshalyam. Whole box.
The whole box.
Just wipe out. स्वास्थ्य स्तो विनाशा क्या पुण्य कल्याण वृद्धिदा विनायकं प्रियानि त्वां त्वाच स्वस्ति ब्रवन्तनो स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वज्रसुवाहा स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति न रक्षो अरिष्टनेमि स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पति जनोई you do well.
Okay.
मंत्रार्था सफला संतु संतु पूर्ण मनोरथा शत्रुणां बुद्धिमस्तु मित्राणां मुदेस्तव. Sorry, just light and under. येन राजो बलिराजा दानवेद्यो महाबल तेन त्वामपि बद्धामि रक्षे माचल. नमो गुरुभ्यो गुरुपादुकाभ्य नमः परेभ्य परपादुकाभ्य आचार्य सिद्धेश्वर पादुकाभ्यो नमो अस्तु लक्ष्मीपति पादुकाभ्य. ओम श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये नमः. ओम गुरुवे नमः. ओम परमेष्टि गुरुवे नमः. ओम परात्पर गुरुवे नमः. ओम इष्टदेवताभ्यो नमः. ओम स्थानदेवताभ्यो नमः. ओम वाणी हिरण्यगर्भ्यां नमः. ओम लक्ष्मीनारायणाभ्यां नमः. ओम उमामहेश्वराभ्यां नमः. ओम सचिपुरन्दराभ्यां नमः. ओम मातृपितृचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः. ओम नवग्रहदेवताभ्यो नमः. ओम ह्रीं ध्रुवाय नमः. ओम ह्रीं सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः. ओम ह्रीं पुण्यः तेरिगे अमारस्तु. अत्रादिममङ्गलपदमासोत्तम मासे माघ मासे कृष्ण पक्ष तृतीयां तिथौ शनिवासरे आदित्यादि मम राशि चंद्र यथा यथा गणेषु ग्रहेषु शेषेषु विशिष्टियां तिथौ कर्तादे पित्रादे ऊर्ध्वरिष्ठ उभयवरिष्ठ मरण जनित कृत्वा प्राशित पूर्वकम. Do you know what is your gotra? Gotra? Kashyap gotra? Kausal gotra?
Caution. Caution.
Kausal.
Yeah.
नाम क्या माता है?
Kiran.
कौशल गोत्रस्य किरण प्रेतस्य मृतदाह विधि नामते शतपिंड विधि पूजनम पंच देव श्रमण कृत्वा कर्मणम अग्निदाह कर्म अहम करिष्ये. Just put it there. तद्दर्थ पृथ्वी त्वया दुतालोका देवी तम विष्णुना दुतात वंशधारय मा देवी पवित्रम कुरुचासनम पृथ्वी वर्ण कुरु महादेव ताभ्यो नमः सकल उपचार नमस्कार हम करोमि. कलशस्य मुखे विष्णु कंठ कलशस्य मुखे विष्णु कंठे रुद्र समासितः मूले तस्य सिद्धो ब्रह्म मध्ये मातृगणास्मता ब्रह्मांडोदर तीर्थानि करेश पुष्टानि तेर वै तेन सत्येन मे देव तीर्थं देहि दिवाकरम्. गंगे च मनश्चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिंधु कावेरी जलेऽस्मिन् सन्निधि क्रियात्. सूर्यनारायण नमस्कार. ते सदा सवितुर्मंडल मध्यवर्ती नारायण सरसिजासन सन्निविष्ट केयूरवान मकर कुंडन वा किरीटे हारे हिरण्यमय वपोदक शंख चक्र आदिदेव नमस्तुभ्यं प्रसीद मम भास्कर दिवाकर नमस्तुभ्यं प्रभाकर नमोस्तुते. ओम ह्रीं सूर्याय नमः. ओम ह्रीं सूर्याय नमः. ओम ह्रीं सूर्याय नमः. Water in the left hand and use right hand to sprinkle all over places. ओम ह्रीं पवित्रं पवित्र वा सर्वस्थांग तोपि वा यस्मरेत पुंडरीकाक्षं सभाया प्रयंता शुचिः. भोदीप देवरूप सत्वं कर्म साक्षी विघ्नकृत यावत् कर्म समापये तावद् त्रसितो भव. ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः दीपस्त देवताभ्यो नमः. गंधपुष्पं समर्पयामि. नमस्कार. मनोजवं मारुतितुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमत्तावरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयोथ मुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये. ओम ह्रीं हनुमन्ते नमः. ध्याये ध्यानं समर्पयामि. हेरम्ब त्वमेहि अंबिका त्र्यंबकात्मज सिद्धि बुद्धि पदे तक्षलक्षलाभवृति प्रभु नागस्य नागहरं त्वं गणराज चतुर्भुजं भूषितस्वदेव पाशाङ्कुश परश्वदे आवाहयामि पूजार्थ रक्षार्थ मम कृतौ इहागत्य गृहाणं च पूजा ऋतु रक्ष मे. ओम ह्रीं गणपतये नमः. आवाहनार्थ कृतं समर्पयामि. श्वेतांगं श्वेतवस्त्रं श्वेतकुसुमगणैः पूजितं श्वेतगन्धैः श्रीराभ्यौ रत्नदीपैः सुरतरुविमलैः रत्नसिंहासनस्थं दौभिपाशां कुशेष्टां वयदुति विशदं चन्द्रमौलेति नेत्रं ध्यायशान्त्यतमीशं गणपतिममलं समेतं प्रसन्नं. ओम ह्रीं गणपतये नमः. मन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि. Left hand. And if your right hand, just put it on one way. Like this. ओम ह्रीं गौरी नमः. गौरी नमः स्थापयामि. पद्माय नमः. पद्मामि स्थापयामि. शची नमः. शचीवामि स्थापयामि. मातृभ्यो नमः. मातृभ्यो स्थापयामि. लोकमातृभ्यो नमः. लोकमातृभ्यो स्थापयामि. स्वधाय नमः. स्वधामि स्थापयामि. स्वाहाय नमः. स्वाहामि स्थापयामि. पृष्ठे नमः. पृष्ठेऽहं स्थापयामि. पृष्ठे नमः. पृष्ठेऽहं स्थापयामि. जयाय नमः. जयामि स्थापयामि. विजयाय नमः. विजयामि स्थापयामि. देवसाय नमः. देवसाय स्थापयामि. आपके कुल देवी कौन? कुल देवी दुर्गा देवी कोई बात नहीं. ओम ह्रीं दुर्गा देवी नमः. दुर्गा स्थापयामि. स्तुता सुरै पूर्वभिमिष्ट संशया तथा सुरेन्द्रेण दिनसु सेविता करतु सान सुख हेतुरीश्वरी शुभानि भद्रानि मि हन्तु चापद वशोधारा हेत मातृकाव्य कुलदेवताय नमः मंत्र पुष्पांजलि समर्पयामि। अनादेव देव शंखचक्र गदाधर अक्षप पुंडरीकाक्षं प्रेत मोक्ष प्रदो भव कृष्ण कृष्ण कृपालुं गतीनां गतिर्भव संसार मग्नानां प्रसीद परमेश्वर नारायण सुरशिष्टां लक्ष्मीकान्त वरप्रदम् अनेन तर्पणेनाथं प्रेत मोक्ष प्रदो भव काश्यप कौशल गोत्रस्य किरण प्रेतस्य मोक्षाद भव सुदुष मंत्र पुष्पांजलिं समर्पयामि। आदित्यादितिथौ कौशल गोत्र से किरण प्रेतस्य तस्य देवता तुष्ट्यर्थं सवनाम्नं पिंड प्रदानं करिष्ये। You have to put from right thumb like this. सवनाम्नं पिंड पदोपसिताम् हुकुमम कामदेव्यं कामन्याम कामच देव प्रसीद परमेश्वर अक्षया सुरेश्रेष्ठा केसरक्ता सुशोभिता भक्तां गृहाणां परमेश्वर माल्यादिनि सुगन्धिनि मयानि तानि पूजानि पुष्पाणि प्रतिगृहीतां सर्वाभूषादिके सामे लोकलज्जा निवारणे तुभ्यं वाससीं प्रतिगृहीतां पिण्डेषु शेषेषु वस्त्रं समर्पयामि। आदित्यादितिथौ कौशल गोत्रस्य किरण प्रेतस्य द्वार देशे गुरुवास्तव देवता तुष्ट्यर्थं पांथिक नाम पिंड प्रदानं करिष्ये। पांथिक नाम पिंड पदोपसितां कुकुमम कामदेव्यं कामन्याम कामच देव प्रसीद परमेश्वर अक्षरा सुरेश्रेष्ठा केसरक्ता सुशोभिता भक्तां गृहाणां परमेश्वर माल्यादिनि सुगन्धिनि मयानि तानि पूजानि पुष्पाणि प्रतिगृहीतां सर्वाभूषादिके सामे लोकलज्जा निवारणे तुभ्यं वाससीं प्रतिगृहीतां पिण्डेषु शेषेषु वस्त्रं समर्पयामि। आदित्यादितिथौ कौशल गोत्रस्य किरण प्रेतस्य चत्वरे उपधातु भूतकोटि पलान देवता तुष्ट्यर्थं खेचर नाम पिंड प्रदानं करिष्ये। खेचर नाम पिंड पदोपसितां शेषः पूर्वतः हुकुमं कामदेव्यं कामन्याम कामच देव प्रसीद परमेश्वर अक्षरा सुरेश्रेष्ठा केसरक्ता सुशोभिता भक्तां गृहाणां परमेश्वर माल्यादिनि सुगन्धिनि मयानि तानि पूजानि पुष्पाणि प्रतिगृहीतां पिण्डेषु शेषेषु पुष्पं समर्पयामि। सर्वाभूषादिके सामे लोकलज्जा निवारणे तुभ्यं वाससीं प्रतिगृहीतां वस्त्रं समर्पयामि। अथ ग्राम श्मशान मध्ये विश्रामे भूतनाम पिंडदान आदित्यादितिथौ कौशल गोत्रस्य किरण प्रेतस्य पिशाचा राक्षसा यक्षाधिपति तुष्ट्यर्थं भूतनाम पिंड प्रदानं करिष्ये। भूतनाम पिंड पदोपसितां शेषः पुरोहतः कुकुम कामदेव्यं कामन्याम कामच देव प्रसीद परमेश्वर अक्षरा सुरेश्रेष्ठा केसरक्ता सुशोभिता भक्तां गृहाणां परमेश्वर माल्यादिनि सुगन्धिनि मयानि तानि पूजानि पुष्पाणि प्रतिवेदं सर्वाभूषादिके साम्ये लोकलज्जा निवारणे तुभ्यं वाससीं प्रतिवेदम् आदित्यादितिथौ कौशलगोत्रस्य किरणप्रीतस्य ततदेवता तुष्ट्यर्थं सवस्य दक्षिणहस्ते साधकनाम पिण्डप्रदानं करिष्ये साधकनाम पिण्डमदोपसितां शेषः पुरोहतः उपमम कामदेवीं कामन्यं कामचदेव प्रसीद परमेश्वर अक्षरासुरशिष्टा केसरतासु सुपिता भक्तां गृहाणां परमेश्वर माल्यादिनि सुगन्धिनि मयानि तानि पूजानि पुष्पाणि प्रतिगतं पुष्पं समर्पयामि सर्वाभूषादिके साम्ये लोकलज्जा निवारणे तुभ्यं वाससीं प्रतिवेदं पिण्डेषु शेषेषु वस्त्रं समर्पयामि अनेन पिण्डदानेन तस्य प्रेततत्त्वनिवृत्ति उत्तमलोकप्राप्तिर्मरस्तु कव्यादय गन्धमसुपादाते अग्निप्रज्वाल्यं like that. Take it on left hand. Forget the left hand. With your right hand, just put that on fire. ओम ह्रीं विश्वदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं उमाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं स्कंदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं पिलिपिच्छाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं यमाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं कालाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं चित्रगुप्ताय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं अश्विभ्यो नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं क्षत्रपालाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं व्यालाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं कुबाध्वने नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं महास्वनाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं अनंताय नमः स्वाहा आदित्यादितिथौ कौशलगोत्रस्य किरणप्रीतस्य दाहान्ते श्मशानभूमि निवासिनः देवताः तुष्ट्यर्थं प्रेतनाम पिण्डप्रदानं करिष्ये प्रेतनाम पिण्डमदोपसितां शेषः पूर्वतः पुगोम कामदेव्यं कामन्याम कामचदेव प्रसीद परमेश्वर अक्षरासुरश्रेष्ठा केसरक्तासु शोभिता भक्तां गृहाणां परमेश्वर माल्यादिनि सुगन्धिनि मयानि तानि पूजानि पुष्पाणि प्रतिवेदं पिण्डेषु शेषेषु पुष्पं समर्पयामि सर्वाभूषादिके साम्ये लोकलज्जा निवारणे तुभ्यं वाससीं प्रतिवेदं पिण्डेषु शेषेषु वस्त्रं समर्पयामि Now you have to move on. Immediate family, everybody together. This stay here. Some here, this side. शेषेषु
Right here.
इंद्रियेषु शेषेषु मदोपसिताम् right shoulder इंद्रियेषु शेषेषु मदोपसिताम् that's all. Put your left hand.
Left hand right here.
इंद्रियेषु शेषेषु मदोपसिताम्
Touch it.
Put your left hand. Left shoulder इंद्रियेषु शेषेषु मदोपसिताम् put on belly button.
Belly button. Right here.
Yeah. इंद्रियेषु शेषेषु मदोपसिताम् just touch there. There is. Put on heart.
Heart.
Yeah. इंद्रियेषु शेषेषु मदोपसिताम् Just put one side. You put on shoulder to whatever. सर्वाभूषादिकेशामि लोकलज्जा निवारणे तुभ्यं वाससिं प्रतिभेदं वस्त्रं समर्पयामि Take this kumkum and like a mark burning.
Put a bindi on it.
Here. Taking a pinch.
Pinch, take a pinch. Yeah.
Pinch. And put on like a
Like a
sindoor.
Yeah.
सर्व स्वस्तिस्तु विनाशाख्य पुण्य कल्याण वृद्धिदा विनायकं प्रियानि त्वं त्वां च स्वस्तिं प्रवन्तनु Put on lips.
Lips.
Put it.
Oh yeah. Same lips.
Yeah, put on lips.
Give one to everybody. Huh? Sean.
Put on lips. This chanda, like forehead, put on forehead.
Okay, this one
Yeah,
here.
this.
Okay.
Taking a pinch.
Taking a pinch.
Yeah, big pinch.
Just rub on the forehead.
Rub on the.
Yeah.
Yes, this. Tilak करना. Yeah, wait, in between. Keep 2, 3 and pass.
We have to have everything.
Just take all of it.
Just keep a couple and pass them.
Yeah. You can hold it. अब वो प्रदक्षिणा करके पहना सके
हाँ पहना
You
देंगे
go around.
हेल्प करवा देंगे एक चक्कर
हाँ,
में
यहाँ एक चक्कर लेते
that we're gonna take one round and then
From
put it
this
back
side.
on.
Yeah, this
Clockwise?
Yeah.
Okay.
हैं। ये ले लो अलग चाहिए तो उनको दे दो वो स्टिक स्टिक
You wanna give the other-
स्टिक
the
वो
other
स्टिक
stick?
वो
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Dad, you want?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't need it
Okay,
though.
okay, then.
Keep
And
it.
we'll just take a full round now.
यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि सर्वाणि नश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणां पदे पदे।
नहीं पर भगवान। अब माम पे डाल दें?
हाँ ऊपर में आपकी बहन
बहन नहीं, हम सिस्टर
इस पर है।
Sister-in-laws, yeah.
हम help
ओके
कर
हाँ
सकते
ऊपर
हैं? Okay. You try wanna help me? Okay.
कर
Here no, I'm good on mom. One of those.
बाद में बच्चे आ जाए ये दूसरा हाथ है
Kids can put the next one, okay?
ले।
Kids can do the next.
अब भी हेल्प कर
Okay.
जस्ट टच एवरीवन
Everyone just touch it.
both of you just go around 3 times
3 times.
अब थोड़ा बैक कृत्वा तो दुष्कर्म कर्म जानता वाप्य जानता मृत्यु काल वंशजातम नरम पंचोतमागतम धर्माधर्म समायुक्तम लोभ मोह समावृतम दहेय सर्वगात्राणि दिव्यलोकान् गच्छतु ओम त्र्यंबकम यजामहे सुगंधिम पुष्टिवर्धनम उर्वारुकमिव बंधनात् मृत्योर्मोक्षमामृतात् मृत्युंजय महादेव त्राहि माम शरणागतम जन्म मृत्युम जरा व्याधि पीड़ितम कर बंधनी फायर you have to put it.
Yeah, put the D on the yeah.
Now all these agarbattis sprinkle on body.
On the body.
Oh, yeah, all the agarbattis, just spread them out.
Spread,
Yeah.
spread them out. Five touches in. Put on lips. Lips पर रख दो। नहीं बुझाना नहीं है रख दो
Put on
Just
the,
या मुखाग्नि देते हैं रख दो
You put
let it go.
या
Just
रेडी
drop
करो
it.
या नमस्कार करो दहे सर्वगात्राणि दिव्यलोकान् गच्छतु ये सब रख दो अंदर बॉडी पे वो हवन करते हैं स्प्रिंकल
Everyone sprinkle,
Everybody
sprinkle.
in the tablets and stuff.
ओम ह्रीं ईश्वराय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं उमाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं स्कंदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं पुरुषाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं योमाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं कालाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं गुप्ताय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं अश्विनाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं शुक्रपालाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं व्यालाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ह्रीं कुबाधमने नमः स्वाहा एम्प्टी खाली कर दो
Just hand to the whole
ये चंदन स्प्रिंकल कर दे स्वस्ति सुविनाशाख्य पुण्य कल्याण वृद्धिदा विनायकं प्रियानि त्वं स्वांत स्वस्ति भवन्तु ये पानी इंडिया में क्या करते हैं होल करते हैं होल ये
Okay.
you have to pour water in a one round you have to finish it
All right, in one round,
Yeah.
clockwise?
clockwise yeah.
Okay,
Up both of you
okay.
यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि सर्वाणि नश्यन्तु प्रदक्षिणां पदे पदे पापोऽहं पापकर्महं पापात्मं पापसंभवं त्राहि मम पुण्डरीकाक्षं सर्व पाप हर हरि अपसाइड डाउन ये घी सेम है घी खड़े खड़े बैठे ऊपर खड़े खड़े ऐसे अराउंड
One round, say.
Yeah. नवनीत समुत्पन्नं देवानां प्रीतिवर्धकम् आज्यं तुगे पदाश्वामि स्नानार्थ प्रतिवेदां स्वस्य द्रुतं समर्पयामि
Word of it.
Just take off the January. take it. Put inside. Do namaste everybody. Namaste. So all puja stuff, puja is over. You have to speech and everything, then everybody come and wean. Put flower and wean.
Alright, so we do the speeches
Yeah,
first,
speeches
and then
first,
the
then we-
flowers, and everybody come up?
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Who's going first?
Kids and Ishan, go ahead.
You have your paper?
Ishan?
My Dolly passed away on Tuesday, as you all may know. All of us will greatly miss her. I have had so many memories with her throughout my years alive. The first memory I have of Dolly is when I was very young and watching Kahonako with her. Whenever I visited her, my brother would be there along with the rest of my family, so I rarely had the chance to spend time just one-on-one with her, but this movie is one of the very special memories I have. One of the very special memories I have with her. Back in Long Meadow, my family and I would travel over 4 hours to see her over the holidays. Every night before, she would always set the table with assigned seats, although I did arrange them how I wanted them. Not only did we visit her during the holidays, but in the summer too. She would take us to the Basketball Hall of Fame almost all the time, then let us go to friendlies after. The best times we visited her was when my cousins Anaya and Rhea were there too. All four of us would play in the sprinklers before sunset and refused to go back inside until she was shouting at us to go in. When we finally came inside, she had to calm down our arguing about who to shower first. We'd have dinner, then she made sure we had no dessert after, but my daughter would always sneak us some ice cream bars and Oreos. When I once visited her in Massachusetts, I was watching a lot of Bollywood movies and asked to watch some with her. She pulled out a huge DVD collection of all of them and let me pick from it. Every day that week, I would watch 1 or 2 movies with her. Every morning, I'd watch The Price is Right with her too, until we lost track of time together. Sadly, Long Meadow was not going to be forever, so they moved to Somerset. When I spent my first week at her house in the summer, she took us to this Chinese restaurant, and I still remember her shouting at the employees to not put any egg or meat inside of Dada's lo mein. I asked to try some olive pakoras when we got home, and she made me some. They were probably the best I've ever had. Soon after COVID hit, we couldn't visit her for some time. Eventually, though, all 10 of us would meet up and have a meal together on her porch. She would always ask how my school was going, and I could not stop talking to her about it. Sadly, she suffered a stroke a few months later, and everything had changed. She couldn't do much with us anymore, but we still made do and did as much as possible. Along the way, I always stayed positive with her. Last year when I visited her, I would always sit with her and watch CNN with her. I was very interested in learning of my roots then, and I always talked to her about it. I interrogated her about about how her life was living in Lahore, but she didn't have much to say because she was only 1 year old when it happened. Her condition got worse and worse though, but I had to be with her, and I stayed as positive as I could. We didn't visit much anymore, but we still chatted on WhatsApp and called. The last time I was able to see her in person was January 22nd. Although she's not with us on Earth today, she will always still be remembered in our hearts. Love you, I know you're in a better place now.
Good job.
My favorite memory with Bobby was what? My favorite memory with Bobby was watching a Bollywood movie with her called Rites, which was an amazing movie she watched around 4 times before that. But when she found out I had not watched it, she sat me down and made me watch it. At first, I was dreading it, but after getting into the movie, I loved it, and I love spending one-on-one time with her. I have 2 cousins and 1 sister, and everything we did was always together, so it was nice to spend time with just Bobby. I remember after the movie, I was begging to watch it again. Another time, we put on a play about Mother India. Mahir was Gandhi, Maya was a Sikh, Ishan was a Muslim, and I was Mother India. I remember the pain of keeping my leg up in tree posts for so long, but everyone being impressed that I could. I remember Mahir limping up with a wooden pole and all of them coming up to me reciting chants, prayers, and sacrifices. We also used to play in the sprinklers, and Dadi would go and turn it on, and we would get so wet and it sprayed in all directions. I remember trying to sneak into the neighbor's yard, but Dadi always catching us. I also remember playing with the ball, and it would go across the street so often, and me and Rashan would go get it. We went golfing a lot, and once I was taking too long to hit, so she picked up my ball and put it in the hole. I got so mad, I threw my golf club in the river. There was also this one time we were playing in the sprinklers, and while we were doing that, I said, "Give me a bath." I would bathe in a big blue bucket and refuse to shower. Another time, I was taking a bath in the bucket again, and she said, "I'm gonna go get you a towel, don't do anything," and I poured the whole bottle of shampoo down the drain. And then she put on a special shampoo, and it turned all her hair purple, so she never used it again. All in all, Ali was smart, amazing, funny, lovable, and kind. I'll miss her so much, and on the whole family's behalf, that life will never be the same without her. And I love her so much, and I'm sure everyone loves her as well. It's so hard to lose someone, especially when they mean so much to you. And I love Dadi with all my heart and beyond. She loved me back, of course, since me and Sean are the favorite grandkids. And I love her so much, and I know it sounds repetitive, but it's true. She meant and still means so much to me, and that will never change in a million years. But we'll have to accept that she's in a better place now.
One of the earliest memories I have of my daddy is that every time she visited me in Connecticut, before they left, they would drive me around my neighborhood while listening to Indian music. When my grandparents still lived in Long Meadow, I would always ask my daddy to take us bowling, and she always would. I would always beg her to play the arcade games, knowing she would say no. One of her favorite restaurants in Massachusetts was Red Rose Pizza. It was her favorite pizza place that I knew of. We occasionally would go there, and the food was great. When I was pretty young, I asked my dad if we could play in the sprinklers, and he said yes. So me and my brother played outside in the sprinklers for a while. Then we came into the house soaking wet, and we got screamed at by her, and it was pretty fun. Every single year, our family would go to the Delaney house, and Daddy always enjoyed it the most. One of her lifelong goals was bringing all of us together and always loving one another. My favorite memory of Daddy was her screaming in panic on a cruise ship when the loudspeaker was just giving out a code to the employees. Almost every time we visited Long Meadow, my dad and Daddy would always take me and my brother to the Basketball Hall of Fame, which was always fun. Daddy would take me to the mall to watch a movie or go to the play area when I was young. Another one of Daddy's favorite restaurants was Friendly. She loved going there and would always yell at me for ordering the sugary drinks. I'll never forget when she used to give me baths in the tub and I used to pretend to swim in it. I'm deeply saddened that she's no longer with us, but it gives me closure that she is no longer suffering and is in a better place now. From hilariously screaming at Daddy to screaming at restaurant employees and managers, I will miss you for every day I walk this planet. I'm glad you are no longer suffering. Love me.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, I'm Naya. I'm Daddy's first
grandchild, apparently not the favorite. That's okay. I just wanted to share a couple memories that I had with Dadi, just quickly. So the last time I went into the Tibetan store in Northampton a few months ago, I was by myself, taking a detour from the UMass Amherst campus where we had just finished. I found myself tearing up as soon as I entered the complex. What about a small artisanal shop in the middle of Western Mass would make me so emotional? It was then that I remembered the countless times Dadi would bring me here and to similar stores like Francesca's to window shop and buy small trinkets and jewelry. She was the most stylish woman I knew. Thanks to her, not only did I grow my earrings collection exponentially, but I also grew my confidence and sense of identity culturally as well. Dadi played a huge role in encouraging connection to my culture, whether it was dancing at India Association Diwali functions or the potlucks that we would have, watching Jab We Met, Bollywood movies, listening to Bollywood songs in the car, singing bhajans during every family gathering with printed out lyrics in both English and Hindi so everyone could participate, or supporting my efforts to relearn Hindi and Assamese after moving back to the States. Without her, I wouldn't have such a strong bond to my heritage and to dance, something I continue and hope to do as I get older to honor her. My memories of Dadi wouldn't be complete, however, without the presence of the loving relationship that she had with Dadu. Constant calling of honey from 2 floors upstairs, or his kindness whenever he'd give up his place in bed to let me watch our favorite serials on ZTV, Pavitra Rishta and Kum Kum Bhagya, to name a few. I'll confess that one time I called Prem Jyotish, the astrologer whose number showed up on TV all the time, from Dadi's Long Meadow phone, but I got too scared and hung up. I memorized his number before I even knew my parents and grandparents. 718-899-6161. Though the next time I visit that same Tibetan store will be by myself again, I know Dadi will be with me, meticulously helping me choose a pair of earrings or a bracelet, and with all of us as we continue with the rest of our lives.
I've never been a man of many words, so the speech should be short. Although it may not seem like it, I am very emotional and tend to cry way too easily. Close to 5 years ago, Dad turned 80 and I gave a short speech. That was a joyous occasion and I still broke down and cried. A couple months ago, my last day of work at my previous employer, which I was with for over 21 years, I broke down and cried at least 4 times when saying goodbye to my coworkers. So I hope I can hold it together for this speech. I will try and remember the teachings of Gurbani, which state, do not weep over the death of anybody. We should submit to the will of the Lord and pray that the departed soul rests in peace. Gurbani says, let no one weep for me after I die. This is not at all pleasing to me. All I have to say is thank you, Mom. Thank you for always being there for our family and I. You always looked out for our best interest. Even though it was kind of annoying how you always micromanaged every decision Nivy and I made, such as buying a car, buying a house, moving to Pennsylvania, changing employers, etc. I know you did it because you loved us so much. I cannot thank you enough for all the love and support you have given Dad, Nitin, Nidhi, Mitra, Naya, Ria, Mihir, Ashan, Sky, and Ivy. Thank you for bringing Nitin and I to India every couple years during our childhood to connect with our extended family. I will always cherish the memories we made from as early as I can remember, all the way to a few weeks ago when we celebrated my 50th birthday in Somerset. I love you, Mom. God bless you. God bless your soul. Until we meet again. Yeah, and Eddie.
Hi everyone. I was not planning on really giving a speech today. Figured, everybody covered everything, including my emotions. But for all those who don't know me, my name is Nidhi. I'm Sunil's wife and Kiran's daughter-in-law. So I just have a couple things I just wrote on a drive here. For those who know Mom, she was very punctual. But unfortunately, her kids were never on time. Never, ever. Today, too, we were struggling to get here before everyone arrived. And to point out yesterday, some of us were running late to get here yesterday. And we were on the phone, and Rhea yells from the back, "Oh, we missed the exit." So Dad goes, "Oh, that's okay. We know that for years. You know, whenever you guys are running late, that's an excuse you guys make that you missed the exit." So to say that we're never on time. She loved holidays, from Christmas to Diwali, from Thanksgiving to Holi. She went out of her way to make it special for everyone. She loved gobi, saag paneer, but absolutely hated khichdi and kaddu, butternut squash. Those are my favorite, but she was very clear about it. She did not like it. She was not just a colorful and beautiful person in her appearance, but an amazing person, mom, wife, grandmother, friend, but not so patient guest at the restaurant. If she didn't get what she wanted in time, as per her order, God bless that waitress or the waiter. Kids really got a kick out of it more than anyone when they were with her and things like that happen. We can be here all day talking about Mom. There's so many lovely things to share about her. I want to thank you all for joining us today and saying goodbye to our beloved Kiran. Love you, Mom.
Hi everyone. So I'm delivering my remarks on behalf of Nitin, who's standing here, Dad, of course, Mom's niece Bindu, and myself. So I'll begin from Nitin. And I'm gonna read it, Mom, but you should know that this is in Nitin's own message, but also his message to you is the collection of photos that he assembled and the music that was playing as we all came in. This is from Nitin. Mom, you are the force that shaped me. Mom had a vinyl collection that included the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, Barry Manilow, Neil Diamond, the Bee Gees, and Elvis Presley, who she saw live in concert, and I always bragged about that fact. I think the first album she let me buy was AC/DC, and so she ultimately helped plant the seed of the rebellious artist, DJ, vinyl collector that I would become. So we can blame Mom for that. I acquired some great records from her collection, including some great vintage Bollywood that I now appreciate, as they appreciate in both sentimental and monetary value. Now we wonder, how did she have the courage to leave India, the comfort of home, and be the first generation of immigrants to the USA, and only one from her family? We try to carry on and pay forward her courageous and adventurous spirit. It is known that Mom was the glue of the extended family, and we see all of you on the live stream, keeping us all connected, remembering everyone's special days. This is still from Nitin. For me personally, she made sure I had a bond with India and the family she left behind. She would bring my brother and I there almost every summer growing up to be with our relatives and absorb the culture she was raised in. Delhi always will feel like home away from home because of that. In my post-college vagabond years, again, this is Nitin, I'm a very focused person. She did her best to keep me grounded and stable, always checking in to make sure I was at least alive and able to eat. In 1993, when I was about to go to New York City and work at MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art, for $10 an hour and no health insurance, Mom refused to let me go. Instead, I wound up getting my first job at the local PBS station in Springfield, Massachusetts, where I spent 5 years and became the art director. Eventually, I moved to New York City in 1999 with credentials, a salaried job, and benefits. And he didn't say it, so I will. Mom, you were right. As a professional artist, a lot of my work has been inspired by her and our ancestral home in Civil Lines that she made sure we got to experience firsthand and keep the connection, an ethic which my family also embraces. The home in Civil Lines near Old Delhi is literally represented in many of my paintings, and to me serves as a metaphoric link between my family's migration during the partition, decolonization of India, and the East-West connection that my generation has. Mom was the life of the party, no doubt the catalyst to get the wildflowers on the dance floor. Once I left home, I thought, I'm free at last, but I really missed her great cooking. I began calling her to dictate recipes for dishes like chicken curry and chole. It seems it wasn't just the recipes she passed on to me, but a passion for cooking for my own family. And according to them, and this is true, I'm not too bad at it. Thank you, Nitin, for your words. Of course, we're backing each other up here. I want to interject as Mitra, what it meant to have a mother-in-law who raised Indian men like Sunil and Nitin. Here's Mom's note to me after our team won the Pulitzer Prize in 2016. Congratulations again for the Pulitzer. I also wanted to acknowledge Nitin's contribution to the Pulitzer win with his support behind the scenes with various responsibilities such as getting the kids to school, etc., all while juggling his own work for the Wall Street Journal. Thank you both for taking care of us they just stayed with us in California for 6 weeks during our stay with you, and for all the delicious restaurant meals and the trip to San Luis Obispo, The Price is Right, and many more. Love and blessings, and wishing both of you much success in life. If there's a more layered email message from an Indian mother-in-law, I've never seen one. A few weeks ago, in one of my last conversations with Mom, she said to me, "You are so bossy." And I responded and I said, "You know, they say men marry women who are just like their moms." I asked Dad if there's anything he'd like to convey, and he wanted to express his love for Mom's support throughout his life. He mentioned two pivotal moments. The first is when Mom and Dad immigrated from India, initially to Canada and then to the US. And he said, this is a quote, "We didn't have a lot of income and she had to work, cook, raise the kids." The other moment came in 1986 when Dad lost his arm in a work accident. And I think those of you who know them have seen just how much they back each other up. It's not a one-way thing. It really, really was such a two-way relationship. I want to briefly acknowledge the strength of Mom and Dad's marriage. On their 50th anniversary, I don't know, Dad, if you know this, Mom said to me, "I can't think of anyone else who would put up with me." But I know Dad in many ways feels the same way. It's been remarkable to watch them, seemingly opposites, in how much they supported each other. Over the last year and a half, Dad's care for Mom was truly 24/7, and he sought to remedy all sources of her suffering, from adjusting pillows, to buying a new mattress, to buying yet another mattress. I just want to read from Bindu, who's Mom's beloved niece in Kolkata, and she writes, "Masi Ma Jaisi. My gratitude to Biddy Masi for all she did for us." Biddy is my mother-in-law's home name. "I feel very lucky and blessed to have her as a ma and not just a Masi. She loved me unconditionally. She was a figure of strength who never waned in her support or her love for her family. She was an incredible role model who always encouraged me. Words can never be enough to express a life that touched so many. You will live in our hearts forever and ever. From your one and only niece, Bindu." Also Vandana Paul is her name. So I just want to conclude here and say we spent Mom's final days showing her pictures and videos of this life she created. We played the music of Bismillah Khan, Shabads, which are Sikh devotional music. We played the Gayatri mantra over and over and over. And Dad said countless times, "Ram Nam Satya Hai." We played Mera Nam Chin Chin Chu, and we also played Saturday Night Fever. We told her we will miss her, but we also got to say thank you. Because what I realize now as her daughter-in-law, or more aptly as her daughter, is that none of this was accidental. Families do not just magically have bonds and traditions and favorite recipes. It is not a coincidence that our families, Nitin's and mine, and my entire family is here today, shared so many Thanksgivings and Christmases and weddings together. It took real work. Mom put in so much work to keep us together. And as Nidhi just explained in terms of punctuality, we really did fear her. If we were late to her house and we said we would be there at 2:15, our phones would start ringing at 2:17, and most of the time we hadn't even left our house yet. So that fear, though, in many ways did keep us together. And I did not see it in the moment. But as we look back at this phenomenal life she built, and I have to tell you, over the last week, the number of women who've called me and said how lucky you were to have a mother-in-law like this. The number of people who've said there's not a relationship that's so common where your family and Nitin's family would just open up each other's homes to each other in the way that they did. And I see that, I really did not see it in the moment. But as we look back on this, it's so abundantly clear that she built a phenomenal life. So more than mourning her, it's truly worth celebrating that. We want to thank you all for coming today, and those of you who are tuning in virtually, it's a really large group, especially our family in India. And we also want to open the microphone to anyone who'd like to say a few words. I think some of you had expressed a desire to do that. Just a note that at 12:30, the family and some close friends do have to leave for the crematorium. And for everyone else, we ask that you head to Rasoi 3. The address is in your program, where tea and snacks will be waiting, and then we'll join you around closer to 2 p.m. where we'll be there for lunch. We have some of Mom's favorite dishes and desserts, and I know it's kind of logistically hard, but if you could please, please, please do join us for lunch. It just doesn't feel our family if we don't feed you, and it doesn't really feel an adequate celebration, so please do join us for that. So with that note, I'm going to open up the microphone to anyone who'd like to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
My dear friend, Kiran and I met 35 years ago, and we have been inseparable till the last day. For those of you who don't know, Kiran read the New York Times, the Hindustan Times, CNN, Fareed Zakaria, and we talked about everything under the sun, be it politics, and boy, she did not like some politicians, and be it Bollywood, our families, our extended families. She was so concerned. She cared and asked about everyone. Have you ever been with Kiran when she watched the New England Patriots, her favorite team? Yes. We couldn't disturb her. Or the Boston Red Sox. Many times we planned to meet for Super Bowl, and she would say, no, I don't want all of them coming because everyone wastes time. I want to watch the game. And boy, Kiran, very argumentative, you could not. My best friend, and thank you, family, for letting me see her on Monday. That meant, and Satish, I and Carrie will always be there for you. Thank you. Rest in peace.
Thank you, Auntie.
Hello, I'm Nina Grover from Longmeadow, and we lost a very dear friend. We were together for 40 years. When I moved new to town, we met there because Steve had an accident, and then we became friends forever. We started with a puja at our house, and after that, we were part of each other's life. Some of you don't know, She was a real remarkable lady in our association. We had quite a bit of population in Longmeadow, but there was no association. Kiran Mukul started the association. She was the founder of the Indian Association around 1985. She was wonderful. She got the people together. She had a sense of unity and how to get the people together in a nice and a productive way and a horizon to grow. And we are still experiencing it. She did community work, she involved the politicians, and then one day she came to me. I had a tragedy in my life. I lost my only son. And she said that, Nina, we have gone through tragedy, but let's do something different. So we started a potluck group, and which is there from 20 years. And she was the sole person to bring us together. And in every potluck, we are known. We used to have chun chun dance or Muja Buddha Mil Gaya. She had a vision to involve all of us. And the other thing I want to add, not only involvement, she did things for others. She was involved with Akshapatra. She gave me the best saris and gifts before she left. And she'll be always remembered with the family and friends and from the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Auntie.
Thanks, Auntie.
Hello. I'll try to make my voice carry because in the back I couldn't always hear the mic. I'm Patricia, or Pat, as Kiran always called me, Campbell. Kiran, my best friend for 45 years, my go-to person when I was hurting or when I wanted to laugh, or just be in her company. We first met when we were both taking bridge lessons in North Andover, Massachusetts. But it was not until many months later, when fate brought us together as realtors in the Andovers, working on the same team, that our friendship really took off and soon would include our husbands and children. As our friendship deepened, we spoke to each other by phone almost every night in those early days. Once, when she called a little later than normal, my husband answered the phone, and when she asked for me, he said, "Oh, I don't let Pat talk after this hour." And Kiran said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And then he laughed. So that became a big joke between the two of them. And this was long before text. Sometimes I wonder if Kiran had anything to do with the inventor of texting. Kiran was interested in so many things: movies, Indian music. Did you know she was enamored with Tom Jones and his music back in the early 80s, dragging our husbands and me to one of his concerts? Yes, really. And oh, how she loved to dance, but you all know that. She loved to talk about world affairs, politics, boy, don't get her started on that, sports, and most of all, she loved telling me stories and all the bits of the lives of her family here and in India. Kiran would sometimes bring her mother or her sisters to my home when they were visiting the Mukul family in the States. I can still recall Kiran's mother, Mrs. Puri, with Kiran as interpreter, telling me the story of how she and her husband left Lahore to travel to New Delhi at the outset of the partition. It was 1947 and Kiran was a tiny child. Her baby sister Dolly had not been born. What courage Kiran's parents had during that tumultuous time, I remember thinking, and I never forgot that lunch. One weekend, Kiran brought two of her friends to my home in Maine for a females-only weekend. Priya, you were there, and Shamala, you were there. What fun that was! And yes, we danced and danced. And drank. In recent years, during Super Bowl games, we would text back and forth in joy or upset, depending upon the play that just had taken place. Trust me, those were pretty lively texts. I deeply miss those texts on Super Bowl this year. We teased each other at every birthday. When mine came in January, she would call and say, "Ah, now you are as old as me, my friend." Then when her birthday came 6 weeks later, I would reciprocate and say, "Ha ha, now you're older than me." We were only 10.5 months apart, you see. A few years ago, via the internet, I learned to sing happy birthday in Hindi as a surprise for Kiran, and she'd tell me I was so great. But in reality, my accent was pretty bad. I would sometimes tease her that she was more Americanized than me, but the truth was she held on to her beloved Indian heritage with great passion, as many of her children and grandchildren have already spoken about today. Yet, at the same time, Kiran embraced all that she loved about the United States, except the politicians, of course. And when grandchildren came into her life, she was thrilled beyond measure that they were eager to learn about their fascinating Indian roots. And as you all know, she just loved those grandbabies so much. Long ago, I asked Kiran what she thought of Satish when her sister Shashi arranged for the two young people to meet for marriage consideration. And Kiran said, "I thought Satish was so handsome and so kind and just so sweet." And a moment later she said, "Honey, Pat wants to know what you thought of me all those years ago." Well, he answered, "If you want to know what he said, you'll have to ask him." Very recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, she shared with me her deep appreciation and gratitude for all the loving and patient care, Satish, you provided to her as her health deteriorated. She was so grateful. It's hard to imagine life without Kiran, a woman of integrity and great kindness. Well, unless you're talking about politicians. A woman full of joy and good energy. But I believe that all that she was, is, and will always be to each of those who love her will remain in our hearts as long as we each live. Someone said we die twice. Once when those who knew us stopped talking about us. So for those who have Kiran's stories and memories, keep them coming. And don't forget to dance. Farewell, my beautiful friend.
Thanks, Patricia.
Thank you.
too. So I'm speaking on behalf of Rup Shivpuri and my mother-in-law, Deepika Puri. They were school classmates, elementary school classmates, back at Presentation Convent in India. And just to give you a little sense of the reach that Kiran Auntie, oh, sure. Just to give you a little bit of sense of her reach into not just obviously her own family, but into others' families. So, and this is my mother-in-law, Deepika Puri. They were, like I said, classmates back at Presentation Convent in Delhi. But she had a hand in our family as well in creating it. She was the one that came to my mother-in-law and my own mother and said, hey, you have a daughter, you have a son, how about you guys introduce them? And now, almost 20 years later, we also have, they share grandchildren. And Kiran Auntie had a hand in creating our family. And she was a part of it, and she continued to be a part of it up until today and much further on. So we are so immensely grateful. I know my mother wishes that she could have been here. She's in Florida. I know she's watching on the live stream right now. They love your mom so much, and we are so grateful for her and all that she has created and done. So thank you.
We have the most beautiful memories of Kiran. We were in school together since we were both 10 years old. And then we went to the same college. And when I got married, came to New York, and Kiran got married a year later, and she came to with Satish, and we met Satish and Kiran at the JFK airport to welcome them to North America. And they moved to Canada. And after a few years, we met in Bombay, we met in Delhi over all these years. And then we moved to Canada, and Satish and Kiran living in the United States. And it's heartbroken that she's gone. She's my oldest friend. I wish her peace.
Thank you, Auntie.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sonia.
Thanks, Sonia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're going to proceed with offering our respects and the flowers. So I'm going to hand it over to the priest, unless there's anybody else who wanted to come up. Okay.
Should the family be standing up here on this side?
This side.
Okay. And then you give out the flower petals. Just put the thing right there. Okay. Like this right here? So what we just tell everyone if they want to come up one at a time, they'll take petals and he'll Pandit will do it?
Everybody come, make a line, come over here.
right, so if everyone wants to just come up one at a time, just kind of, take some petals and put them on mom and, just kind of pay your last respects and, we'll do that, so.
And there's like for shot, also on the table, please grab it on your way out.
Have the kids hand it over.
Start from back side, so make a line.
Just watch us.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to sit or you want to stand?
People will come and see you.
No, from the front.
Come back a little bit more.
Okay. Come back a little more. Hold on. Don't sit here. No. Here. The chair wasn't behind you. Thank you. Thank you, Uncle. Thanks for coming. Thank you for the push-up. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So kind of you for coming. So sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashok. Thanks very much.
So sorry.
Thank you so much. Amen. Thanks for coming. Hey girls. Thank you for coming up here.
Sorry for your loss.
Appreciate the appreciation. Thank you.
Signs are here.
Lunch can be good. Please come. Thank you. Hi, thanks for coming, sir. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you very much for coming. Thanks for coming. How are you? Thanks for coming. Thank you. Hey, thanks for coming. Thanks. Thank you.
He's calling me on the phone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Shanti. Lovely speech. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks so much for coming on. Thanks a lot. Yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it. Uncle, thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, we'll be around. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we're all right. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait for the line.
Thanks so much. What's the message? Thank you. Thanks, Shanti. Lovely speech. Yeah. Anu, thank you so much. Yeah, you could just announce it one last time and tell them they can even be there by 1:30. Like Rasoi will be ready for them. So.
Family and friends, just a reminder, everyone is invited to go to Rasoi 3, which is in Monmouth Junction on George's Road. So for all of you that are not proceeding to cremation, feel free to go right to the restaurant by 1:30. That's Rasoi in Monmouth Junction.
Remember this guy? Huh? Remember when we did his ceremony and they spilled the ghee on your pants? He came to our house in Colchester. His 40-day ceremony or something, right? He's good. Hey, Uncle, thank you. Thanks so much for coming. Appreciate it. Yeah.
I don't see it.
I think it's in the car. It's in the program too. Do you have the program? Yeah, right here for Soy 3. Yeah. All right, we'll see you there, huh? Thanks, Uncle. Thanks so much, Thanks, Shanti. Thanks so much.
Should get going.
Yeah, thank you so much. Put all the flowers?
Yeah, you can decorate her now.
Okay.
Top to bottom.
Okay.
And just take a plastic off.
Yeah. What about this arrangement goes on there too?
You can
Or?
put that on the foot end, yeah.
Okay.
The vase with the picture of the restaurant.
The box is a picture?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it looks nice next to it.
Okay. What about all these other arrangements and stuff? I know this is what we're gonna put on her.
Yeah, this one we'll put on her.
Okay.
If you want to take another one to put on the table, you can just make it flat.
Okay.
It's the other end. That's up to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
The baskets definitely.
Put some on the fire.
Here, put some on the fire? All right. So when we get to crematorium, do they like put any more fire? No? They'll just take her out of the car and put her in and that's it? All right. Sweets? Put sweets? Okay. Oh, the switch. Oh, okay.
Do they close this or?
Oh, he's going to do this.
And then when we get there, do they open it again or no?
Maybe you just like that. Open here. Just like that. We're gonna leave it out.
She goes in just like that?
She goes in
Okay.
just like that.
Like
Okay.
this?
Just
Yep.
like that.
No cover?
No cover. Just like that. Just you going to press switch.
Yeah, just press the switch. That's it. Okay.
Only immediate time.
Yep. Okay.
You want to put some?
Should we put one? It's okay, we just put six?
Yeah.
You think so? We have it in case other people need it, it's okay?
Well,
Is that? You don't need to, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ready? Okay, let's go.
There you go. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's bring that box and that picture of mom for the rest of the way. Okay.
Yeah, and I think we can have our friends take it ahead if you want. I told them to take the pictures and flowers
Okay.
to restore it. Should we do that?
Okay. Yeah, like all these arrangements other than the one room.
Thank you, Pandit ji. What do we do?
Dad, you want to say bye to the pundits? Should we take the plastic off?
He said just everything is leave it like that.
Yeah, the photos and these arrangements. The big one we're going to put on her, but...
You didn't leave any speeches there, right? What happened, right? All right, should we go?
Yeah, they're all right here. That's the program.
Are you starting?
It's yours, right? You can kiss her. Throw your shoes.
এইবিলাক ফটো আৰু এইবিলাক ফুল
এইবিলাক হা
এইবিলাক আমাৰ এইটো ভগৱানৰ ফটো আমাৰ নকৰে
Yeah, we got everything right.
You have the address?
So you want to tell the funeral people who are ready? No, they're all ours. But the stands are not ours. The stands are they can't let the delivery. It's ours, so then take it. Okay, so then if you can take it. And just divvy among whoever. Are you coming tonight?
All the God photos are the volunteer. Yeah. The only ones that are coming are mom photos. So this one, that one, and there's one up front.
So now do we need to tell the people we're ready? Call people here? Because I think they're waiting for
Oh, yeah,
us.
yeah, we can tell them we're ready, yeah.
I told them, Christina's coming.
Christina's coming?
Yeah, there's waiting for her.
Speech with her? You want to send her off with your words? Should we do that?
You want to leave the live stream on still?
All right, I'm putting this in with her. guys are getting your
You want that
speeches
to go?
with
Yeah.
that. I asked them if they wanted it to go, and they
Yeah,
said
yeah.
yes. Put that, okay. Okay, Mom. There you go. Okay, there you go.
That was the speech.
Yeah. Gotta go. You have to be there at 1, but because it's only like,
Oh, yeah.
it's by time.
Can you grab the guest book too? Like the sign-in book?
Which all flower bouquet you think we should take? This one?
Good day, Kiran. Yeah, the only thing is, can you show me cards so you can send thank you cards to them? Like these cards that are for flowers, you might have to do it. Yeah, like these cards, you can just give it to us later, so I can make sure we get it. Or with this picture. And then my friend Stacy here. Stacy, this is my cousin. He said he can also give you some photos. She's my friend Stacy. She can also help.
Okay, fine.
We can all help.
Yeah, so we have a car, right? So we can
just waiting on them.
Oh, I think he's putting the signs on outside for the car and stuff if you're
If you don't do that yet, I think we're gonna.
What was he about to do?
Heads up, guys.
Also the posters. Yes. The pictures of the posters.
Christine, yeah. Okay.
There's like 3 or 4 of them. And then these are stands came with the flowers and they took those. This one is gonna go.
This one we're gonna put on mom.
Oh, that's fine.
That can go to the restaurant maybe. Yeah. Yeah, including the stand. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to grab this?
There's another one there right here.
Yeah.
And that you can take with you. This is carry this like this. Just put that in the car. And then this one was here prior. That's all yours. I do it like hours. Yeah, that one is like, that was yours.
Just going above.
Lift together.
Okay. Should we get like my brother and whoever else? Okay.
What are you gonna stand right here?
We're just transferring to the car.
Pick it up and put it on here. Okay.
Which one's gonna be here?
Yeah.
It's very light.
Okay. We're just gonna pick it up. Ready?
Raise your hands.
We'll all push together. I'm gonna go in the front with the last check.
All right, let's push it right out the front door. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go. You want to push it?